How does it work when you fight Sephiroth and your limit bar goes up? That's actually a specific line of code that does that. There's a specific line of code that increases your limit bar from 0 to 255 at the start of the fight. The limit bar is actually a value. It's from 0 to 255. When it gets to 255, you have your limit. And then, depending on how high the number is, the bar fills up. I think it's 255. It's either 255 or 100, but I'm pretty sure it's 255. Out of all Final Fantasies that have a limit mechanic, what's your favorite? It's either this one or 10. I always liked how 10 had unique things you had to do for each limit. You know, Titus, you have to hit the timing bar. Orin, you have to put in the combinations. Lulu, you have to spam your analog stick. But unfortunately, like, they're just not that fun. Like, it's a cool concept, but the third time you do Lulu's limit, you're like, yeah, I hate this crap. And like the 19th time you put in Orin's thing, it's the same every time, you're like, okay, can we just not do this? But I feel like it's the best idea. Eight's is similar, but the problem with 8 is how you get your limits is based on your weapons, which is dumb. And also, they're just not that fun to do. Squall's is fun to do. I think Squall's limit is like the funnest limit in any of the games. Like, it's really fun to hit. It feels good, you know. You get the sound effect, like, it just feels good to do Squall's limit every time. Zell's is cool, but once you realize you can just spam the quick attacks and it's way better than doing the actual limit, it's kind of lame. Yeah, it was cool as a kid to try to figure out like how to get the limit to work though, for sure. Like what moves do you have to do in what order to get the actual final move? Like that's fun. But at some point you realize like, oh, I can just spam Beat Rush and do 1,000,000 damage. And then Selfies is also stupid because it's just random. Also, the way you get limits in 8 is stupid. How it's just a chance based on health and you can just spam triangle till you get it. It's like, why did they design it this way? That's pretty much a good way to describe Final Fantasy VIII in general, is why did they design it this way? But having said that, I think Squall's is actually like the most fun to pull off. Tens is the best in theory. Squall's is the most fun, and I think Sevens is like the best designed. Like the simplest and best. That's a good point. 6 also has awesome... What do they call it? I think they just have their own names in that one, right? No love for the Final Fantasy XII quickening? No. Especially not after getting that trophy. Can I... Yeah, something I found, I wanted to show this off. I'm glad I remembered this, actually. I was thinking about showing this off during this playthrough, and then I totally forgot about it. But we got here, and I remembered it. So, there's a really interesting quirk with this field that I never knew about. Somebody dropped it in my comments, and I was like, holy crap, that actually is a thing. So when you go in here, all the characters have dialogue here. Yuffie says, what a boring place, just like I thought, I want to go somewhere, let's go find some materia. And then Barrett has his speech. And then after the speech says, again, Avalanche is born again. So if you leave this field, you can just barely reach Yuffie and talk to her without moving into the next field. And she says, any materia around? She is not supposed to say that dialogue. That dialogue is actually the dialogue she says when you walk in for the first time. It's down here. When you walk in and your two characters walk out when you're talking to this guy, that's when she's supposed to say that. But because you're not supposed to talk to your characters on this field, they just left it. So if you talk to her here, they think that you're talking to her here because it's the same field. So she says that instead, which I never knew. And I think, can you get Kate Sith as well? No, I don't think so. No. But yeah, I never knew that. So it's actually like, I mean, you would never notice because it's not like that big of a deal. She's not saying anything like wild, but technically this is a bug. She's not supposed to say that there. That's supposed to be her line when you first walk in. And it would be really cool if you could menu skip into this field. Or not into this field, rather, but like if you could do the menu. You know how when we walk out of a field, you can hit the menu button and then end up on the other side of the loaded trigger? Like here, I could hit the menu button. And now I'm on the other side of where the trigger is. Unfortunately, that doesn't work here. But if it did, we could talk to all of them and get all of their dialogue that you're supposed to get down there. But it doesn't work here. It just skips you in anyways. Yeah, you want some obscure Final Fantasy VII knowledge. It doesn't get any more obscure than that. Is this still my favorite track? Probably. I don't think anything will beat Cosmo Canyon. But a couple songs have really, really raised the ranks over the years. Like Dear to the Heart, I think. I always get the names confused, but the Mountain to Bell song. That one is like clearly number 2 now, and it never used to be. And also Wu Tai has really like grown on me over the years. All right. Time for the geese. I promise I won't make any gee jokes this time. All right, so first we got Heg. So Heg, the original Japanese name for this enemy is Nidhogg, which is the first reference to Nidhogg in the series, which I was shocked by. There's a lot of references to Nidhogg in the future Final Fantasies, and if you were to ask me, like, when was the first reference to Nidhogg, I probably would have said, like, oh, probably like Final Fantasy 4 or 5, because that's where, like, most of the common, like, Tonberry, Bomb, Malboro, Ochu, all the enemies that are reused over the series, a lot of them were implemented like Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5. But surprisingly, Nidhogg, this is the first Nidhogg enemy, and it's not even Nidhogg in English. After this, Nidhogg would be a dragon or drake type creature, with the exception of Final Fantasy XII, which also has a serpent named Nidhogg. But here it's just a little snake dude. Although this Nidhogg is a snake and it's not a dragon, it's still weak against ice, which I think is just a general gimmick of this dungeon. A lot of stuff is weak against ice, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe he's the only one. I don't know. And then we also have Sneaky Step. So the original Japanese name of Sneaky Step was closer to Stealthy Step, which I'm glad they changed it to Sneaky Step, because Sneaky Step is so much better than Stealthy Step. He has a 1/4 chance to use Death Sentence and will not attack a character that has Death Sentence. So he's going to use Death Sentence here on Red 13, and then now he will not attack Red 13. So if I were to give Death Sentence to all 3 of my characters, he would no longer attack, which is kind of interesting. What else? Nice, learn Death Sentence. Triple attack only hits once, despite it being called triple attack. I don't know why it's called triple attack. It's probably just the animation. The item Ghost Hand can be morphed from Sneaky Step, and it would be another source of Ghost Hand that isn't the completely missable one after you leave Midgar, but you don't have Morph at this point in the game. So, unfortunately, although he has it, you can never get it. And he can also drop M Tentacles, which are super powerful at this point in the game because they cast Bio 3. So if you can get M Tentacles from this guy, it's a really, really nice drop. Yeah, see, it's probably just called triple attack because he like boom, boom, boom. But it would have been cool if it actually hit 3 times. It's 2026's new viral dance, the Sneaky Step. So this is the Gee Specters. So once again, we can jump into the Brady guide here because they completely botched the Gee Specters entry once again. So move this here so I can read it. So if we look at Gee Specter here, you can see once again there's 2 Gee Specter entries, and one of the entries says that it teaches Death Sentence, and the other one only lists it as lists Death Sentence, and the other doesn't, but it lists all of his attacks. So you have like this one says he uses Death Sentence, and then this one just lists all of his attacks: Skewer, Hellspear, and Death Sentence. So, like, what are they doing? And why? Why is there 2 of them? This time, it's not even like they accidentally put this instead of another enemy. They just copy and pasted this entry for no reason. So, classic Brady guide. Ah, there we go. Okay. There we go. And what else did I have for this guy? They have a 50% chance to counter with Death Sentence, but only use it on the lowest HP member that doesn't have it already. And they cannot be preempted, but due to forgetting to set the flag, the forced fights when breaking the rocks can be preempted. So, yeah, really strange. Normally, you cannot preempt these guys, but because the flag is screwed up, when you break open the rocks, you can potentially preempt them, which is backwards. You would think you can preempt them in the normal fights and not when you break open the rocks, but it's reversed. And I think that's it. And we already learned Death Sentence, so we can just cook these guys. I don't know if they can be aqua-lunged or not. I'm about to find out. Nice. They also do a pretty sick 360 when you kill them. Who else do we have down here? Oh, that's it. Just the spiders left. Hey, thanks, Creepy. Appreciate you, man. Well, unfortunately, people don't really use physical guides anymore. But, you know, if they did, it would be kind of cool to have like an updated version. But yeah, they wouldn't do that because no one would buy it. You got the internet now. I am completely turned around, which... There we go. I forgot which rock it was for a second. Yeah, I genuinely still like using guide. Like, I still use the Final Fantasy XII guide. I think it is, for like maps. I still use 10's guide for maps. I'm using it for the challenge run. Like, just when I need to know what items are on a field. And if I were to ever play through, which I'm sure I will at some point, play through Metroid Prime, every time I play through Metroid Prime, I use the guide to get all the power-ups. Because it's just really nice to be able to, like, physically check them off. Got our own added effect materia now. How does the stinger skip work? Frickin' magic. It's actually pretty wild how the stinger skip works. I've never speedrun this section of the game, so I don't know how to do it. It's based on... Actually, I don't know. I'd have to watch it. I don't think you open up the menu when you do it, right? So I don't think it's menu timing. I think it's is it step count related? I don't remember. I'd have to watch someone do it and then I could tell you. It's either you line up on a certain pixel and then menu on a certain pixel to menu skip the web, or it's step count related where you run at the web and get an encounter, a regular encounter on the same frame that you get the spiderweb encounter. But I'm not sure because I haven't seen it done in a long time. But it's something like that. All right, here is the stinger. So this guy was kind of similar to what I was talking about before, where this guy's kind of a mini boss enemy, yet that enemy in Gungaga's 1,000 times scarier than this guy. This guy can be pretty mean, though. I remember him giving me troubles when I was a kid. Once again, twice in a row, we get to open up the Brady Guide. Because once again, I don't know why this has happened so many times, but once again, you have Stinger and Stinger. So 2 entries. At least this time, it's like 2 separate pages. So maybe they just didn't notice that like he was on the previous page when they printed the next page. So that one at least has a bit of an excuse, but still. And yeah, they're just identical this time. They don't have any, they both just say the same information. He works sort of as a mini boss, and he only shows up in a single formation, which is only activated when you walk into the spider webs. Although the fight is a mini boss, you can use Death Sentence on it. So similar to Gin Attack, the enemies in the prior area give you what you need to defeat Stinger if you choose to use it. So I never really thought of it this way, but you know how I always talk about the X potion that's right before Gin Attack, and how the developers kind of gave you like this item that is good against the boss right before you fight the boss? In a similar way, both the Gi Specters and the Sneaky Steps give you Death Sentence, and Death Sentence works on the Stinger. So it seems like they were kind of giving you the tools you need to fight the enemy right before the enemy, which is cool. What else? Another great way to fight the Stinger is to use Frog or Mini, but if you use Mini, his Sting Bomb will still do damage to you because Sting Bomb does a static 3/4 HP damage. If you Frog him, however, he'll just do Frog attacks. The attack, he has an attack called Rabbit Gouge, which is only used after taking some damage. And it was probably supposed to be Rabid Gouge. Let's see if we can get him to use it. Yeah, the bomb is definitely his scariest attack because it can kind of come out of nowhere and do a lot of damage. No, he's not using it. I don't think he can be manipulated. Maybe we'll see it on the next fight. There's Sting Bomb. How's it going, Dime? Maybe one more chance. Nope. Maybe we'll see it on the next one. But yeah, it's the attack is called Rabbit Gouge, and I think it was supposed to be Rabid, and they screwed up the translation because Rabbit Gouge sounds like something you do in chemistry class or something. Also, Sting Bomb can only be used normally. He can use Sting Bomb like normally as an attack, and then he also uses it as a counter attack once he's below 50% HP. But it actually costs MP, and he can only use it 3 times before he runs out of MP. So fortunately, even though Sting Bomb is pretty scary, you can only use it 3 times. So I'll show you a mini. This is probably the quickest and easiest way to deal with this enemy, is to just turn a mini, and then only Sting Bomb is a problem. If it'll hit, that is. Yeah, Frog Song's even better. There we go. Look how cute he is now. Let's see there. Sting Bomb will still do regular damage. And yeah, Sting Bomb can't kill you, so it'll hurt, but you should be a free fight if you mini him. Unless you let him Sting Bomb you so many times that you get down to 1 HP. But actually, that wouldn't happen because he can only use it 3 times. There it is. Rabbit Gouge. So there you go. Pretty sure that's supposed to be Rabid. Yeah, Frog Song's just a insta-win, because Frog Song doesn't miss. And also puts him to sleep. And also stops him from using Sting Bomb. So I want to go pick up this... oh, this is a great fight for limit grinding or XP grinding, by the way. I want to go pick up this chest. Does laser work on this guy? About to find out. Yep. Laser works on a surprising amount of enemies. Just not a lot of bosses. I think almost every boss in the game is immune to gravity. I can only think of one that isn't. Maybe some of the early bosses, but you don't have it anyways. So I always like to pick up that chest because I always like to talk about how that chest is there specifically for Genotalk, which was the whole premise and idea behind making the scavenger mod. So I always like to pick that up. Now we're on to the Gee Man. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-ba. And the face that gave me nightmares as a kid. All right. The Gee Man. So, Genotalk not only takes damage from Restorative, which most people know, but he's also weak to Holy. But there's no way to have Holy at this point in the game. It is much better to throw an X potion or an elixir at Ginatak rather than a Phoenix down. A lot of people will say like, oh, throw a Phoenix down in this fight for a free win. But Phoenix downs actually only have a 25% chance to hit when you throw them to try to insta-kill an undead enemy. I say undead enemy, but they don't technically exist in this game. It's just a weakness to the restorative element, but for the sake of just explaining it, undead enemy. But X potions and elixirs will always hit and always do max damage. X potion does 9s, I think, and then elixir just gives the death status. Ginatak actually has D barrier, and he will use it if a party member has barrier. A lot of people don't know that because you don't usually use. I mean, you can get barrier material at this point, but other than like, I think we have. Did we get Mighty Guard? Do we remember to go back and get it? No, we didn't. We still have to go get it. So if you use Mighty Guard, he'll actually debarrier you. The Soul Fires are particularly annoying because they share Ginatak's immunity to gravity, poison, earth, and surprisingly water, and they absorb fire. So they're immune to gravity, poison, earth, water, and they absorb fire. So it's just really hard to find an element that actually works on them. Water always is really strange. Like, why do they have immunity to water? Ice will also just do normal damage. So the only good element to use is wind, but we don't have much access to wind. Really just Chocomog at this point. Ginatak bears a striking resemblance to an enemy in Final Fantasy IV called Rex Soul. Remember this guy? This guy is one of the cheesiest bosses in Final Fantasy history. Six, yes, 6. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I wrote 4 on accident on my sheet. So I read it as 4. So yeah, this guy is like the cheesiest boss ever. He has this really stupid gimmick that is really hard to figure out on a casual playthrough. But in terms of his relation to Ginatak, so first of all, they kind of look similar-ish. They both have spirits that were formed from dead souls of previous battles. They both appear with 2 spirit minions, and Rex Soul can possess you, whereas Ginatak has the Fire Souls possess you. So, yeah, up to you to decide whether or not you think it's like an actual direct reference, but I think it's definitely, they at least took inspiration from this boss fight to make Ginatak. In Japanese culture, it's a very big part of folklore when somebody dies without a proper burial due to some like surprise accident or a murder. They will usually turn into and you guys can help me with the pronunciation, Yurei, Y-U-R-E-I, which is basically a ghost or lingering spirit, and usually they will appear with will-o'-the-wisps. So Yurei, thank you. So you've probably seen it in like anime before. I remember I used to watch a long time ago when my wife and I were first dating. We watched an anime that was all about Yurei spirits and a festival. Maybe you guys probably could shout out the name of the anime. I always forget the name because it was so long ago. But anyways, it's a very big part of Japanese folklore. When somebody gets murdered or there's an accident or some kind of like mysterious death, a lot of times they'll turn into this Yurei spirit, and a lot of times they'll have a will-o'-the-wisp either with them or somehow involved with them. And I think that's the biggest inspiration for Ginatak. You know, there was the big battle at Cosmo Canyon, and so a lot of the Gis turned into these Yurei spirits, and so and then the fire spirits are supposed to be like will-o'-the-wisps. It would have been cool if they actually named them that, but they're just called, what are they called? Soul Fires. But it would have been cool if they're actually called like wisps or something. What else? I think that's it. I think that's all I had for him. And we'll fight him normally instead of cheesing him. But yeah, this fight is very obnoxious when you fight it normally. If it's been a while since you fought this fight normally because you always use the cheese, I recommend your next playthrough, don't use the cheese, because this is actually a really fun fight that's actually pretty difficult. The fires are really hard to deal with because they pretty much immediately absorb or jump into you and can also heal. And they can do a lot of damage. And turn economy is rough in this fight because the fires can just constantly get turns. Yeah, it can be fun to do this fight without without using a cheese item, but still using like cure to deal damage. Red 13, heal, please. Red 13. Thank you. Dude, Rexol kicked my butt on my 6th playthrough, if I remember correctly. He was great. Like, if you don't, you genuinely just have to learn the gimmick or else you get completely cooked by that fight. It's a shame they didn't do something like that for this fight, but I think this fight stands on its own as pretty difficult. And also, there's no save point right before this fight, so if they did something super cheesy, it probably would have been really annoying. A pain in the drain. Oops. We're all so close to our limit. Man, Alexander would go so hard in this fight. I mean, it's hard to define like what an enemy limit would look like, but I think if an enemy had a limit, it would be a move that interrupted turn order without being a counter, and there's nothing like that in the game, I don't think. Other than final attacks. If you kill an enemy and they have a final attack, it will interrupt turn order. And if an enemy counters, it'll interrupt turn order. But other than that, enemies don't have any kind of attack that interrupts turn order, which is what limits do. And it's kind of like the thing that sets them apart from regular attacks. So... And no one does like the little animation. So that'd be cool if like the Turks had limits. If they gave Turks moves that did the little red effect. There's so much they could have done with the Turks that they didn't do. It makes me sad to think about. The Turks really are so underutilized. I think the Midgar raid fight's cool, but other than that, they're so underutilized. We never get to fight Sung. We only get to fight. I know Rufus isn't a Turk, but we only get to fight Rufus once. There's no fight in the oh nice, Soulfire ran out of MP. There's no fight in the Mithril Mine, which they fixed in Remake, which is cool. You know, part of me feels like you are supposed to figure out the cheese in this fight or something, because he really has a crazy amount of HP for this part of the game. I think he has more HP than the next boss, if I remember correctly. Or, like, close to. He's a pretty crazy boss. Especially for not having a save point right before. So, do you guys want me to go on my spiel about the weapon for Red 13, or I do it like every playthrough, but this is kind of like a trivia playthrough. I know I'm not doing like regular trivia, but there's a lot of people watching this that aren't here for normal playthroughs. Hit us with the tea. I know you guys never get sick of my spiels. You just love hearing it over and over again for like the 900th time on the 900th playthrough. Except the ruining Final Fantasy VII trivia. Like the dead pixels. And the caution. But those I gotta bring those up every run. Those are so important. So for Omnichair, can you ever put the cat there and tell it to stay for the stream? I could put the cat there and I could say stay, and he would stay for probably half a second, if not more. Our cats do not stay. Stay is not in their vocabulary. I do need to get more coffee though, so I'll get coffee and then I'll do my spiel. It's not that much of a spiel. Time to get the worst weapon in the game, yeah. I do love to point out here that there is no message for getting this weapon, by the way. I think it's the only weapon in the game like that. You just get it. I want to say it was a mistake. I think they didn't want to ruin the scene by having a pop-up come up. But they could have had it pop up like when he joins back or something. I mean, also, you're supposed to think that Red 13 is leaving the party, so they didn't want to say, like, oh, you just got a weapon for this character. That's totally leaving, guys, really. So, that's probably why. But they could have put it here. Like, when he joins, it could have been like, he got it. Man, no, you could go hours into your playthrough without ever realizing you got a weapon because nothing pops up. All right, let me get coffee real quick. I'll be right back. So, first of all, the spiel. Long story short, the Seraph Comb is Giga Mega Ultra Super Duper busted. It's really all you need to know. It is hilariously busted. I'll just put all there so it can level up. It is the strongest weapon, not only for him, but for anybody for like over 30 save points or some nonsense. And Red 13 will get like 3 or 4 more weapons from now until like middle of disc 2 that are all just worse than the Seraph Comb. I think they genuinely messed up. Like, I think they wanted the Seraph Comb to be strong so that you would use it because it's Memento of Father, but didn't realize they made it so strong that you might as well just not even pick up any more weapons for him until, like, the Behemoth Horn. And if you want to set the game to easy mode, just give Red 13 Death Blow and the Seraph Comb and laugh at every enemy. Also, don't we have... Actually, we have a couple things I want to equip. Let's see. Let me equip haste. That's fine, I guess. Should we should go back and get Mighty Guard before I forget. Aww. Well. As we like to say around here, die. Boom. 1100 damage. For reference, Blade Beam from Cloud is currently doing 500 damage. So Red 13's doing double Cloud's damage right now. More than double. With a worse limit. That's his first limit. Blade Beam is Cloud's third. So even more than, like, probably 2.5 times damage. At least. Fair and balanced. Going to get Mighty Guard because I forgot to grab it. We could also get White Wind, I think. Did we get White Wind yet? I think we did, because we did during the trivia, right? Because I talked about how White Wind... No, we didn't. We fought him before we had Manipulate, right? So I, like, showed it off, but then but we didn't actually learn it. Yeah, because we didn't have Manipulate yet. I just showed off the funny soft lock. Come on, Cloud. Also, I like that Cloud has 777 HP at the moment. There's something about the way that these guys, like, walk on their front tentacles and then, like, their mouth is on their butt. Like, it's just creepy. Like, I do not want to meet one of these things in real life. Could you imagine something crawling up to you like that and then, like, turning around and its mouth is, like, on its underside? Like, this thing would be nightmare fuel in real life. Like, imagine you see this thing on the beach, and then you expect it to kind of, like, crawl at you normally, like, forward, and then instead it, like, gets up on its tentacles and turns around and comes at you like, you know, like it's its legs. Bro. So, oh my god, I would be noping right out of there. Beep boop boop boo doop boop beep bop boo doop boop boo boop 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 bop boop 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 beep boop boop bop boop 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 bop. Do 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 do. Stay away from the creepy tentacle mollusks. Stay away from everything outside this town. There's giant egg monsters that birth smaller egg monsters. By the way, yes, you can Pandora's box the Grangalans. And it shows all the juniors before they're spawned. But they just appear, like, in the same spot, so it's not that exciting. But I think somebody asked that in the comments. Yeah, you can. Also, to the guy that commented and said you sung Black Betty and now it's stuck in my head all week, I'm sorry. Now it's probably stuck in your head again. Is he in the dirt or the plains? I don't remember. He's apparently in the plains. Or in the dirt. It's like a 1 in 3 shot. There he is. Luckily, he didn't use Thunderbolt. Oh, he tried to use it. I love Red 13's Death Blow animation. I never understood what it was. I didn't understand it before when I was a kid. I just thought he was doing some kind of weird double jump, but he's supposed to be jumping off the enemy. Like he's jumping off the enemy's chest and then whacking him. Caution. Sorry. I still can't believe that giant dead pixel in Costa del Sol. It's almost too big to be an accident. I didn't point it out. Somebody else pointed it out. I didn't even notice it. It's not my fault this time. The revive Aerith pixels. Yo, thank you so much, Dayan. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I mean, look at it. Just a beacon of pixels. What is it saying to us? What does it mean? We may never know. If you ever do a Let's Ruin Final Fantasy VII playthrough, Cloud will have to be named Sea Loud. Yes. And Eris's name will be Erisu. You probably can't even notice him on a CRT.